don't have my gun.
That's the problem. Here. No problem, man.
So sorry.
Can you get some green tape for her finger and we can just put it in after?
I'm almost out. Get that door open. Get that door open. Get that door open.
Laurie, what the f?
Oh, sorry.
No good.
Oh.
Action.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Get in.
I'm just gonna high five you just cause.
Ready. Hey!
Oh, sorry. Oh, no. Sorry, are we not sparking?
A little bit much. Hold on. One last thing. My bad. Tourette's.
Oh my god, I hit one in the head. I'm sorry.
You're fine, you're fine.
Okay, who's
No,
that
it's
again?
totally fine.
Sorry. Oh, that was me.
And I guess this is a cut.
Infiltrate the resistance? Fine. Yeah, I know.
You don't find a better way to reverse a truck in the future?
Maybe a buzzer.
Anyway, sorry, my bad. Carry on, brother. My bad.
No chin. No chin, please.
Come on, right away. Ready.
Take a chin away. No chins.
Sorry.
You're happy.
No, I'm not happy. This is the way the world is, man.
I got a line there, brother.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. Fucking hell.
I want him alive for reimplantation. I want him alive for reimplantation. Reimplantation. I want him alive for reinfestation. Reimplantation.
Dick.
Okay, can we do another one of these?
Sexual orientation. Hetero. Straight. Do that again, sorry. It is, I'm going to say, that's a tricky door, that door.
Set, and... Oh my god. Okay. Action.
Oh, no!
It's okay. Don't worry about
What
it.
have I done?
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I'm just not even gonna do it. I'm just gonna stand.
Oh my god, I touched you in the throat. Are you alright?
You didn't touch me, black. Yeah,
I'm sorry, sorry. Are you okay?
Okay.
Oh god, I did it again.
No, you really.
Oh, I did the wrong foot. I did the wrong foot. Did I get you? No, you're fine, you're fine. Okay, good, sorry. Oh, what's happening? Is it me?
I don't know. So again.
Get in there.
Hurry!
Yeah. Cool job. All of it.
The whole thing.
Look at this.
Isn't it impressive?
Oh my God,
Can you
how
really,
lucky are we?
can you really stop and
How
take a
lucky are
moment
we,
to-
man? Are you kidding me? It's the
So
last
lucky.
great circus in town, this shit.
So lucky.
Ready? Landing. With set. Up. Nice. Nice. Everybody comes back. And action.
I have never played a bad guy before. I've never played a, a villain.
And then wait for him to lock up your arm before you put it in.
Longer even that.
And longer in the lockup. Yeah, and try to hold her in that for 1, 2, yeah, for a good 3 beats. Copy that. Great.
If I've done a movie that, requires fighting or action or whatever, I've always been on the side of truth and justice.
And action.
And even though my character thinks that she is on the side of truth and justice, there's a kind of slightly maniacal leer. She's slightly out of control in her feelings, and that's always fun for an actor to play. By the way, you haven't even begun to see me try to kill you.
Great, and cut.
And we cut.
Laurie, Kate Beckinsale, is not only a top operative in the sense of self-defense, but she's got the right mindset, believes in the system, and is a good soldier. The benefit that she has over other soldiers is that she happens to be gorgeous. So Cohagen realizes that Laurie is a wonderful lure. Just set her out there and have her wiggle her tail, and everybody's gonna follow.
And action.
I have to go.
Go where? We found it kind of fun to make her American when she was nice and English when she was horrible, just because we can. 6 weeks ago, I didn't even know you. I love the fact that she flips from being this very sweet, concerned wife into this killing machine in the space of a second.
Ready? And action.
Now. Earlier, and then we're still overshooting a little bit too much.
Ready?
And now.
Oh, it came sideways. Oh, that wasn't me.
Very ladylike.
And now.
That was a weird set-off. Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry, everyone.
At least it's continuity. You're firing the same exact thing. Giving you that extra 6 inches at the end as well.
Ready? And action.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good?
One of the big differences in the earlier film is that part is much bigger in our version of the movie.
I just got the call. We've all been put on standby.
I don't understand.
What?
We tried to take a little more time in the beginning. We tried to make that relationship feel genuine and real. So we were looking for somebody who could really do both. And Kate's such a wonderful actress that she's able to play these scenes with Colin where you really feel like they're a couple, you really feel like they're in love, you really feel like she cares about him and wants to take care of him.
And action.
But she also has the other speed, which is when you flip the switch, and she's this incredible kick-ass villain.
I think every man would probably admit that there lurks a monster inside his wife. Once in a month or once in a while.
3, 2, 1, go! And that's great. Cut that.
It's doing stuff in camera, which is certainly much more fun for us. The tripping den was all practical explosion and reaction and drop.
This bookcase is laying on a dead man that has a bunch of hand grenades stacked over him. Lead actor puts another grenade underneath. They all explode. The bookcase jumps and it makes the floor collapse. So his escape route out of here is through the floor.
Okay, guys, we're shooting. Gun firing and squibing. Very quiet, please.
Bravo, Mark.
Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go!
Hey, thank God.
There we go.
Boom, explodes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait to make sure that through the dust and everything, we can also see that it's happened.
Yeah.
Hopefully time's out right around the same time.
I think it probably should. I think I should probably wait, you know, just till all the percussion is done with and run.
Everything used to be huge fireballs. It gets boring and people get used to it and they go, ah, another movie explosion.
I don't want to see anybody from that corner to this corner. All this should be clear, but the people really need to be there.
Unfortunately, through IEDs and stuff, we've seen what real explosions are because you see them on the news all the time, and that was something you usually only saw them in the movies. They used a lot of bone black and smaller fires, and it was just a breakaway glass that was right above him. We shot that with air, and that's supposed to be the blast wave from that big flash you see. We did some deck tests of how fast that would travel, so it was pretty accurate as to what would really happen if it was a full explosion that size.
Ready, and action! Ready, and background action.
The challenge in doing a lot of the pyrotechnics on location. We were at the Toronto Convention Center, for instance, and when I asked them, would it be possible for us to blow out all their windows in their ceremonial entrance, they were a little hesitant.
That's probably the most difficult thing in some of these prestigious places.
So you're popping through here, bum, 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 bum.
To assure them that indeed they will get their place back in the same condition. They were great. They were great to work with.
How many charges are going here?
Almost 40 different events. Probably take about 6 seconds, and then we'll all be done. Beautiful.
3, 2, 1, fire!
We managed to do that by placing our pieces of glass in front of their pieces of glass.
We didn't disturb their windows at all. We sat 6 inches in front of them, brought our own glass in, and then sequentially destroyed that.
Great job, guys. It's awesome.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Alpha Bravo comment.
Oh, the lights. Who's light come on?
Charles, who has the light on the watch?
It's not a watch. We're not going through this again. It's time for a bomb that's going to save the world.
The new one is coming.
Colin Farrell and I will get into a big fight as act. And then as characters, we also fight.
And in case when I'm pulling him and I drag him over, I come up with his wig in my hand. Do we want to play that as a possibility? Or do we want to... That's one funny. He makes me laugh. So the first one, okay.
Because of the fact that Colin Farrell is maybe 2-3 years younger than me,
He's gonna check that. He's gonna go.
the prevailing thought is that he will recover quicker than I will from this fight choreography. That is such a load of truth. I'm 55. He could be my son. In fact, he looks very familiar, and I was traveling around Ireland at the time. It's not out of the question.
His face, stomach, face.
Yep. This thing. Face, stomach, face.
It's stage fighting. It's like a ballet. You have to specifically know what's going to happen, because if one of us gets hurt, we've failed. We're going to be exhausted. We're going to be sweating. But to get hurt is not part of the plan. So we rehearse it and piecemeal it so that we know exactly where we're going.
No, and then I go through
No, that's right. So let's do it again.
He's a great actor, but he's such a wicked character to have around. To be honest, I have to give it to him, to take my hat off to him. He's hilarious. He's got loads of funny bones. They're all over his body.
Even when you're faking getting hit, like boom, boom, by the end of the day, you're doing this 25, 50 times. Even though you're not getting hit, your neck feels like you got hit because you're doing the snaps the whole time. Oh, or the shots to the stomach and the rolling and the thing. Oh. It's fun, but this weekend there's going to be some massage table time for me.
He gave it loads. I was surprised. The old guy did all right. He really did. He brought his A game.
Bravo, Mark.
Ready?
Yes. You didn't really think that would stop an invasion, did you?
Any action sequence has to tell its own story. Rather than just being a bunch of explosions, an action scene has to have its first, second, and third act. So that's always my first goal. What is the new action story that I can put together that I haven't seen?
If you look at the previs for this fight sequence, Colin is sitting in the tripping den chair. The federal police break through, and they basically shoot everybody but him. And in a split second, begins this fight sequence. And what you'll see in the film is basically 7 camera moves. So the cameras kind of wrap around, ones wrap around again, then they go up over the balcony, and they come back down into a close-up, and now he shot everybody. It's a transitional moment in the film.
Wait! We really hit the ground running. That was a huge scene to start with. You have this conceptual understanding of the character, but you have to kind of get up and move and walk in his shoes. We had a little bit of rehearsal on this, but it ain't theater, you know. But it was good, it was okay, because I could find out through movement, through the action, who he was a bit.
And action.
What's really going on with this science fiction concept, it's surface memory that is coming back, and certain things will trigger it. You're faced with this problem, and suddenly a solution arises. You don't even know how you did it. It's solved. I did it, killed 5 men. No idea how I did that.
Len's idea is to make the fight seamless so that you feel there's no break in Colin's action.
Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go.
I wanted to feel like he didn't have a chance to catch his breath. That it kind of picks you up, you go through it, and then it's done, and then you can gasp. I want that experience, and how do I photograph it that way?
I figured we had to do it with a series of super sliders.
I'd worked with the super sliders before. A lot of times for car chases, it's one set of truss that runs like 30 miles an hour.
3, 2, 1.
When the shot starts, the camera's going 20 feet a second. Another camera starts and crosses over, picks it up on a match frame, and now that's going 20 feet a second. Another one crosses over, so they end up in these very high-speed camera moves. Basically, operators are just chasing the frame because it's a very fast move.
It was fun just to watch.
All right, that looks pretty good.
To see how the rigs were working was almost as cool as what the scene looks like for the character and what I wanted people to experience through him at that time.
Sometimes in science fiction, they create a dark vision of the future. The darker, the better. But you see, take a look at the past. When you take a look at the past, you begin to realize the enormous advances that we've had. In 1900, the average American lived to be the age of 49. Long-distance communication was yelling out the window. High-speed travel was getting stuck in the mud with your wagon. That's what it was like back then. There were no antibiotics and vaccines. Modern medicine didn't exist in those days. Sanitation was awful. And now look at today. Today, we live in a world where lifespans are expanding, where we have the ability to communicate internationally around the world almost instantly. And then think of our grandkids. Our grandkids will live in a world where information is basically free. We'll be able to create artificial bodies and grow new organs of the bodies, extend the human lifespan. So I like to think of it as progress, not simply a dystopia.
Tell us your fantasy. We'll give you the memory.
For the first time in history, scientists have been able to take a memory, record it, and then put it right back into the brain. Scientists took the brain of a rat, they trained it to do a task, and then they recorded the impulses in the hippocampus, which is located right at the center of the brain. Then the rat forgot the task. Then they reinserted the electromagnetic impulses into the hippocampus, and boom, the rat relearned the task. It remembered the task that it had forgotten. So in the future, it's very well possible that we might have vacations. We might have experiences going into other planets, going into other environments that are totally fictitious, and having them implanted into the hippocampus of the brain, because the hippocampus is the gateway to memory. Right now, robots do the dirty work. They go into radioactive areas like in Fukushima, which is highly radioactive. They do dangerous work with explosives. They do dangerous work, tedious work in construction sites. So right now, robots do the dirty work, things that are tedious, things that are too dangerous for the average person. That's because these robots are not self-aware. They don't think. They don't plan. They don't have any understanding of who they are. They simply carry out a very well-defined task. The singularity is the point at which robots become sentient. They become as smart as us. But not only that, they can have children. They can have the next generation smarter than the previous generation. And then the third generation is smarter than the second generation, is smarter than the first generation, and it simply ramps itself up until we have a singularity of intelligence. Well, personally, I think there's no law of physics to prevent such a thing. I think we're many, many decades away from creating a machine that is intelligent as a human. But at some point, it may be possible to create robots that can create second-generation robots smarter than the original.
Track him.
And then there's nothing to prevent this runaway effect. Now, what are we going to do? Are we going to be relegated to a zoo, and our robots are going to throw peanuts at us and make us dance behind bars? I don't think so. One possibility is to, in the far future, merge with our creations. I mean, what's wrong with waking up one day and finding yourself with a perfect body? You're beautiful, you're strong, and also, hey, you're also immortal.
I'm recording this message as a fail-safe. So if you're watching this now, it means you're in some seriously deep shit.
When holograms were first introduced, people thought they were science fiction. I mean, imagine a three-dimensional ghost-like image, unlike anything we've ever seen before. However, holograms exist, and in the future, three-dimensional images could become commonplace. First of all, we're going to have the internet in your contact lens. Therefore, when you shoot images into your contact lens, you'll see things in 3 dimensions. And so you will see people, 3-dimensional images of people who are not really there. You'll be able to teleconference with them. You'll be able to talk to them, but they're not really there because they exist in your contact lens. Not to mention that you could be placed inside a room that has 3 dimensions projecting onto each wall, so that you feel like you're in an imaginary environment It's in 3 dimensions, so you see these ghost-like images coming at you, and yet you are simply sitting in a chair inside this room. This room is called the cave, and we actually have working models of the cave. I was placed in the cave. In fact, I was placed in the middle of a dinosaur fight. All of a sudden, dinosaurs were lunging at me in 3 dimensions. I actually put my head in the mouth of a dinosaur in 3 dimensions, and you can do that because you're surrounded by these images. And then, of course, we have the hologram itself. Holograms are very expensive. It takes lasers in order to create a holographic image, and we only create 1 image at a time because that's how expensive these images are.
Thank you.
One day, it may be possible to use holograms to create an artificial you, a you that looks different from what you are, to disguise yourself, to create a holographic image so that you can change like a chameleon from one person to another.
Get in, now.
Flying cars are the staple of science fiction, and believe it or not, we already have them. The problem is they're really expensive. So the challenge of engineering is to bring down the cost of these hover cars. Hover cars come in 3 types. The first is a car that has wings. The wings fold up and you ride like an ordinary car. And when you want to take off, you get on a runway, unfold the wings, and there you go. The second flying car has 2 gigantic fans underneath. And so just like a helicopter, it takes off vertically because of the power of 2 fans underneath the chassis. The third type of hover car is the maglev car. That is magnetic levitation. Riding on a cushion of magnetism, it floats in the air.
Travel time to the United Federation of Britain, 17 minutes. Dropping in 60 seconds.
Believe it or not, if you could drill a straight hole right into the Earth connecting point A and point B, the amount of time it takes to go through is the same, no matter where you drill that hole. So believe it or not, in principle, you can go from any point to any other point within a matter of just a few hours. And basically you fall. There's no energy required. You simply fall right into the Earth and then come out the other side. However, the technical problems are enormous. We would have to have gigantic drills that can drill right into the Earth and also drill not just at the surface of the Earth, but go right into the Earth itself, into the Earth's crust.
Please prepare for gravity reversal.
This is something that we cannot do at the present time because of geologic shifts, because of tectonic activity, because of heat. There's a nightmare of geological problems. But one day, we might be able to solve this problem by using drills. We're using nanotechnology that are super strong, able to go right through solid rock at a pretty good clip, and be able to connect 2 points on the surface of the Earth going right through the planet Earth. When you look at an ordinary science fiction movie, the good guys are in white, the bad guys are in black. Reality is reality, fiction is fiction, end of story. However, in Total Recall, everything gets jumbled up. What is real? What is unreal? And that's what I love about the movie. It turns the world upside down. So with the enormous advances that we've had in technology, one day we'll be able to do all those fantastic feats that we see in Total Recall.
All passengers, please report to your designated gates. This is the final boarding call for the 7:15 departure.
One of the core items of the show is the elevator, so to speak, and it's an incredible device dramatically.
The first time I read the script, because the writer Kurt Wimmer didn't tell us he was going to put an elevator through the core of the Earth in the script. So I'm sitting there reading the script, and I'm saying, oh my God, there's an elevator through the core of the Earth. How are we ever going to do this? Once I kind of wrapped my head around the whole concept of it, we realized how kind of incredibly cool and unique and futuristic it was. And then it wasn't really until Len and Patrick Tatopoulos got involved that we started to figure out what that would look like.
You know, I think there's a sense of scale. I worked out some of these things when I did Independence Day years ago, working with Ronald. The fact that sometimes the more complex the shapes are, the less big an object seems to be. Simple, bold shape creates scale with details. We have to kind of make it in some ways, shape-wise, minimalistic, not too crazy. So we're starting to study some simple shape. What does an elevator look like? It's basically a box that goes up and down. Wow, we could just do that. So we worked and detailed the craft.
Has it ever occurred to you that we always sit in these exact same seats?
The seats, we have asses. Seems like the logical thing to do.
But the big thing for me, I really tried to push Len onto, and he actually clicked pretty good about it, is to say, you know, we're in a futuristic movie, we're in a sci-fi movie, but we want people to relate to what's inside there. And I thought the best example of what the world inside would be was like a Boeing 747, for example. Something that's created in a very small space, contained, and people relate to that. And once that became an idea, it was easier to design what the interior of the craft was.
Please prepare for gravity reversal.
It has to be amazing. It has to look convincing. It has to suspend your disbelief that something like that can exist and do what we say it can do. The science in it has to be based in some form of reality. I checked up about the whole idea of the fall. Of course, it's probably not going to happen. But there are theories around that say if you had a frictionless vacuum-filled tube that went from one side of the Earth to the other, if you drop something from one side, it would travel back and forth like a pendulum in a theoretical perfect state. But you know, that's never going to happen, is it, really? I mean, let's face it.